من نیره هستم. سال 67 به ارتش آزادی بخش پیوستم و در عملیات چلچراغ، یکی از بزرگترین عملیات‌های ارتش آزادی بخش شرکت کردم.
در سرگذشت خلق‌ها و جنبش‌ها گاه لحظه‌هایی پیش می‌آید که سرنوشت سازند.
مجاهدین با خون راهشون باز میشه، انگیزه میگیریم، ما انگیزمون 100 چندان میشه برای مبارزه بیشتر، برای جنگ 100 برابر.
این لحظه‌ها مانند رگرگه صاعقه‌ای در متن سربی آسمان ناپایدارند، اما باید آنها را دریافت.
سینه‌مون سپر میکنیم. ما ایستاده ایم که مردم ایران سرفراز بمونن،
زیرا در تباتب آنها یک خلق بر سر دوراهی قرار میگیرد و تعیین تکلیف این دوراهی سرنوشت او را در یک دوره تاریخی رقم میزند.
میخواهم در میدان نبرد بمیرم. آری، من شعله‌ای آسمانی در دل دارم.
به کوری چشم آخوندان بهترین جشن خواهیم داشت.
تا پای جان بر سر پیمان و سوگند خود با خدا و راهبران عقیدتی هم مسعود مریم و خلق محبوبم هستند.
هر ضربه قلبم نیایشی است برای خوشبختی دیگران.
من مجاهد خلق محمد جواد میرسالاری حاضر حاضر حاضر.
مجاهد خلق حسین گندمی حاضر حاضر حاضر. بعدا خیلی دوست دارم.
و با درس‌های درخشان پایداری نقشه مسیر رهایی و آزادی ایران را نورافشان کند.
برادران و خالان من در خیابان‌های تهران هستند که با شعار مرگ بر دیکتاتور خودشون رو با رژیم درگیر میکنن. اینها خانواده من هستند.
من منوچهر براتی، فرمانده یکی از یگانهای زرهی ارتش آزادی بخش هستم.
همه سردمداران رژیم بارها روی این نکته تاکید کرده بودند که شما هیچ کدومتون به صورت عمودی از زندان خارج نمی‌شوید.
به نظرم باید رژیم بره یه فکر بالا خودش بکنه. چرا؟ چون توی فازی قرار گرفته، فاز اضمحلال به سرنگونی.
سهراب همایونفر هستم، از اعضای سازمان مجاهدین خلق ایران، مستقر در شهر اشرف.
کسی که خودش رو کاملا وقف کرده، کسی که خودش رو وسط آتیش انداخته و همه چیز رو به جون خریده و اینه که به نظر من موندگاره و آینده رو همین میسازه.
یعنی راه فدای حد اکثر، بن‌بست شکنی، یعنی همون راه کار، همون راه حل، همون ارزش برتری که در تاریخ، در دل تاریخ، در همین لحظه به جای میمونه و یزید و دودمانش رو برباد میده.
اگر نمیتوان زنده بود بمیریم، اما باید چون قهرمانان مرد.
Mrs. Gaddafi, of course, Mariam Gaddafi, yeah, and dear colleagues. It is a great honor to be here, yeah. And some friends of me say, what are you doing for Iran? And I showed them that they were in my home. I showed them that big red book. It's now on the table of Madam Rajavi too. All that members of your community, they died in the massacre of '88. And I show that book there. Have a look and please keep your mouth 2 minutes. And then they said, yeah, we understand it now, what you are doing. That's the inspiration. And today, we remember the 24 victims, also of war crimes. It's a war crime. And therefore, Madam Rajavi and you deserve our strong support to bring the responsible persons to the International Court of Justice in The Hague, the center of justice in the world. Madam Rajavi, I'm an old member of your movement, yeah, and I'm proud of that. And I must say, when this summer I was again in Paris for the 10th or the 12th or the 30th time, I don't know it. But I came to the conclusion that the world is changing enormously then. First of all, there were much more people than the years before. 150,000. It's a lot of people there. Growing every year. Do remember that. Secondly, there were a growing number of people like me coming from countries in which the PNOI has a FOFI, a club of the friends of a free Iran. But what is even more impressive, that is that the PNOI have friends now in the Arabian countries too, in Northern Africa, from east to west, or from west to east, but also in the Middle East. For example, the Palestinian state. I say state, of course. But that means if you, I was optimistic then. I came to the conclusion that Iran is becoming more and more isolated. And I'm glad, of course, for that. But I compliment Madam Rajavi and your organization with that policy to broaden the background of the POI.
Madam Rajavi, honorable members of parliament, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure and honor for me to come here all the way from Malta, together with my colleague, Honorable Ryan Kalouz, to join you in remembering the brave Iranians that 2 years ago gave their lives for freedom of their people and refused to kneel in face of repression. Our presence here today means, dear friends, that we care about your situation back home in Iran. We truly believe that the Iranian people deserve much better. The human rights community has faced significant challenges in the past several years, as the number of executions in Iran has increased significantly. While the nuclear issues and the regional wars dominated public domain, the number of executions rose steadily from close to 100 in 2004 to at least 1,050 in 2015. The numbers 567 in 2016 and at least 450 so far in 2017 remain too high to be ignored. It was rightly so reported that this is a crisis of the right to life that affects thousands of families among the most vulnerable, powerless, and poor. The international community must continue to speak out in the strongest terms against the persecution of human rights defenders in Iran. We all should forcefully call for the immediate and unconditional release of all those jailed for their peaceful human rights activism and for an end to the misuse of the justice system to silence activists. Banning public gatherings and suppress freedom of speech, severe discrimination against women and minorities in Iran are also of great concern to each and every one of us. We will continue to support your cause until we celebrate together a free and democratic Iran. You people of Iran, keep believing, keep strong, and good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me here today. I am here for the first time. I am here today with you to share something which is common between me and you. The fight for democracy, the freedom of speech, political association, the right to political association, and certainly human rights. Madam Rajavi, President-elect, dear honorable colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, my dear Iranian friends. We are aware of the reports of killing of demonstrators, the torture, the arrest, and the politicized mass trials of prominent opposition figures in Iran. Our message to Tehran is very clear. Any person in power is not worthy of retaining it when it undermines human rights. 5 years ago, the UN Human Rights Office stated Iranian authorities has engaged in a severe clampdown on journalists. We must not be silenced. We should, all of us, not stop until those responsible for these killings are brought to justice. Do not be afraid to speak the truth. Do not be afraid to fight for democracy. Do not be afraid to fight for freedom of speech. Because, my dear Iranian friends, we share with you your dream for one day to see a free, democratic Iran. The day when you can go back to your Iran and live in peace. with your family, and with your friends. Thank you for inviting us here today because you are reminding us of your cause. Thank you for reminding us that Iran is not only about nuclear disarmament. I hear some politicians tell me that because now we signed the nuclear deal with Iran, then Iran is now all okay. But it's not true, my friends. Not all is okay in Iran. Thank you for reminding us that human rights cannot and should not be sidelined because of agreements we do between governments. It is our duty to stand up with our Iranian friends, such that justice is served, democracy prevails in a country where the law should reign supreme. And not only you, but even us. We owe it to your brothers and sisters whose names are behind me. We owe this to your brothers and sisters who also have lost their lives, but their names are not behind me. We owe this to you, and we owe this to your children, so that you may have a better future and a free future in your own country. Salam alaikum.
Thank you so much, Madame Rajavi and distinguished guests, men and women of the Mujahideen. It is such a great pleasure to be here with you today. I will leave the diplomatic speak to my colleagues. I'm just an old soldier. Indeed, I am so glad to be here after 14 years. So the purpose of the event tonight is to remember the fallen from October 2015. But of course, we have to remember also the fallen from 2014. We cannot forget those who were missing from 2014, those who fell during the Iraqi ownership of Camp Ashraf, during the many years when it was rocketed and mortared, the 30,000 in 1988. In fact, if we put pictures on walls, and you can imagine a wall behind this one, and a wall behind that one, and a wall behind that one, it would travel far into the distance. So I'm a Christian, and it is said in our faith, there is no greater love than to give your life for your fellow man. And yet all of us, we have friends, including me, who have done just that and are on the many walls. So we know they were killed by a criminal regime, and these were men and women that were in your hearts and memories. And they died because they committed their life to freeing Iran. Their lives embodied the concept, the idea of self-sacrifice. And yet, how are they different from you? Because you have given your lives for a free Iran. You sit here tonight standing for a free Iran. You've refused to let go of your brothers and sisters who gave their lives. And so I just want to tell all of you how deeply honored I am to be in your presence. So it's a new world, and I want to warn you. The economic situation in Iran is not very good. A change could come fast. However, we know that the regime, particularly the criminal elements in the regime, will not go quietly into the night. And so we must be very careful to ensure that events like the rocket attack and events like the 2014 raid at Ashraf are thoroughly investigated. These men must be chased to the ends of the earth. And so I pray that we will be all resolved to continue to fight for freedom in Iran. Thank you very much.
چو کوه سر به سر اوج خروشان تر از موج همچو ابرها سبک بار بگویمت به تکرار